Hello guys, and welcome back to a new episode. So today I'm going to talk about the MacBook Neo. Now this is from someone who lives in West Africa, Ghana to be precise, and someone who daily drives the M4 Mac Mini. So without wasting much time, let's get into today's video. Now let's talk about the MacBook Neo. The MacBook Neo is a 13-inch laptop, and this laptop comes with just 2 Type-C ports and also an headphone jack. It comes with an 8 gig RAM and also 256 gig storage, which can be upgraded to 512 gig storage. Now let's talk about the chip. Now the chip is an iPhone 16 chip, yes. And maybe you might think, why do you have an iPhone or a phone chip in a laptop? Then it means it's going to be crappy. No. When you look at the M1 series sort of chips that we've had recently, with me using like the M4 chip, so these chips were kind of, they took their performances and they took the engineering they put in some of these phone chips and they built on it to make these M1 chips we see today, these powerful M1 chips we see today. So it means the A18 chip is not going to be like a crappy chip because it was put in the phone, but it's going to be a wonderful chip because Apple has over the years, engineered their chips themselves and been able to, fine tune it for it to be a very powerful chip. So I don't think it's going to be a bad chip. Let's talk about who I think this laptop is for, and that is what I really want to talk about today. Now, first of all, literally, this laptop is for students. Now, when you look at the way Apple is presenting this laptop is being made for students, literally. And I think it's a very good thing because if you're a student, you are getting this laptop for just $500, which I think is a very, very good thing, especially coming from Apple. And most people these days use an iPhone, and having a laptop that can easily integrate with your phone, and other Apple devices, I think is a very, very good thing, and you can build on it as well. Now, the second people I think this laptop is going to be good for is for light creative users. Now, this MacBook is not listed for creatives at all, but I think there is a market of creative who need just this laptop. Now, who are these people? These are people who do light creative work. Now, I have a friend who uses the MacBook Air, and the person does light creative work, like some light Photoshop or light Lightroom work. Mostly, the person is using Canva for daily work and some emails here and there. And the person is using a MacBook Air, which I think if this laptop was around, the person would have gone in for this laptop than the MacBook Air, and also for people who kind of do YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm talking about people who currently shoot on their phones. We have so many people who currently own iPhones and they currently shoot on their phones, So you can easily shoot a YouTube video on your phone, talking head video on your phone, and can quickly edit it on this laptop without having a problem. So I think there's literally a market. And also for people who kind of do reels and all those things, please don't look at getting a MacBook Air. You can easily get this laptop and do that, some few thumbnails here and there, light creative work, And for people who also own businesses that they want to do some few light Instagram reels and all that, you can easily get this MacBook. And because of the size, you can move it around. So I think this MacBook is also good for, light creative users. Also, the other market I think this MacBook will be good for are for people who kind of want to make the iPad a laptop. So we have so many people who don't want to get a MacBook because of how high or pricey MacBooks are, but also wants to have the feeling of a MacBook, want to have the feeling of using something like a MacBook. Most of these people go in for an iPad and try to use the iPad as a laptop. So for these people, I think this is going to be one of the best, laptops for them, because if you look at the price, it's around the same price as an iPad. So I think this is going to be cool for people who have an iPad or who are trying to force the iPad to be a laptop. I think they can easily get this laptop. Now, the other people that I think this MacBook is going to be cool for are for people who are traveling. Sometimes when you're traveling, you do not want to carry a 16-inch MacBook Pro, in your bag. It's going to take space and all that. But probably when you travel, you might do some small light work here and there. So I think the MacBook Neo is a very, very good buy because of its size. You can easily have this laptop around, in your bag around, and it's not going to take so much space, and you can also use it, here and there. Even if you do heavy works, you can actually do some proxies here and there and be able to use it since you are just traveling for some few days. I think the MacBook Neo will be very, very good for people who are traveling maybe to different places for just some few days for some light work here and there. I think the MacBook Neo would be very, very good for them. Now, the final people that I think the MacBook Neo is going to be good for are for people who use desktop Macs like myself. Sometimes you might be going out and you need a MacBook, that you can take along and actually use it for maybe something when you are outside the house or when you're outside the office. I think the MacBook Neo is going to be a very good buy. Back in the day, if you needed a laptop or if you needed a MacBook, to kind of take on the go or anything like that, you probably have to jump to the MacBook Air, which was a little bit pricey. But I think with this particular laptop available now, you can easily get that particular laptop for light work. So guys, these are my thoughts on the MacBook Neo and who I think this laptop is for, who can benefit from this particular laptop. So guys, without wasting much time, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and please let's build this community together. Share to as many people as you can.